for you if you're sitting in a situation that feels like it's been in the same place for a while and it needs to move. Okay, we're going to have a look at what's going on here and start with current energy. Okay, so current energy of this situation. We begin with the Ten of Cups. That's a big hitter to start with. Okay, it's Mars in Pisces, it's happy ever after, it's committed relationship, you know, it's what you're looking for when you want to get a love card. Okay, so big win for the beginning. Now, it also comes with this card, which is the Five of Wands. And this is about struggles with communication. It can be crossed wires. It can be frustration. It can be teasing. So it could be, you know, if you've got like a kind of a tennis thing going on the text where you're back and forth and it's kind of witty. You've got some kind of maybe in-jokes. It's on the edge of something, but you never quite know what it is. There's a level of frustration, but it's not like major arcana frustration. It's more minor frustration. But over time, those little unspoken things, those little missed connections, those borderline, is it this or is it that? They can start to weigh you down, okay? So there's something here that's in conflict with the Ten of Cups. We then have the Queen of Pentacles, which I like. I do call her the Queen of Velvet Waiting. So it does show that there is some element of waiting. Now, I'm not referring to the kind of waiting which is up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, wetting yourself whether somebody's come back to you with an okay text. You know, it's not that kind of waiting. This is more bloom where you are, have the confidence to want what you want, to know who you are, to sit on your throne, to an extent to know that you are a prize, not in a arrogant or, you know, over the top kind of a way, but in this very gentle. Queen of Pentacles are always depicted as kind of gentle. There's usually woodland animals around, rabbits, deer. It's kind of divine feminine, but earthy. No apologies, no explanations for what you want. Okay? Now, I'm going to go to Unspoken Words next because that feels like the right place to go. Wow. Okay, that was not what I was expecting. King of Wands. This is nothing like that Queen of Pentacles energy. You are dealing here with somebody who, when they do speak, actually can be quite alpha about it. It's strong energy, it's fire energy, the King of Wands. It's the energy of somebody who can be a bit careless with how they express themselves, but certainly do have that confidence to do so when they know where they are with things. So, and we will have a look in a minute whether this person will speak up, whether they will not speak up, but that they could speak up. They have an inner confidence. Even if they don't come across like they have an inner confidence, it is definitely there. Then we get the Four of Wands, which I really, really like. Four of Wands is kind of almost an accidental portal card of luck. Again, it's Wands energy. Again, we've got the King of Wands with the Four of Wands. So this person may say nothing until they really say something, but they will not be subtle when they say what they need to say. So if you're thinking that they're dropping hints, they may well be doing so. There's a lot behind it, but when they actually express themselves, you will be in no doubt. And that's important to know. And then we've got the Knight of Cups, which, I mean, that is great. Knight of Cups, they've upgraded from the page. They're not slopping around with a fish in a cup, you know, they're not, they've gone off, they've got a horse, they've geared up, they're ready, okay? This is an upgrade. This is an expression of feelings. This is coming forward with something. This person may frustrate you in the short term, okay? And make no mistake, and this is really important, and maybe not something that you want to hear, but hey, if they don't come up with something pretty strong, they're not going to, okay? They will hint for a while, they will joke around for a while, they will also joke to cover their risk, to cover their feelings, they will joke about wanting take you out on a date, or whether it's this or whether it's that. There's a lot here that's hidden behind humour, but at the same time, when they really need to bring it and when they really need to say it, you will not be able to miss it. What is the hidden truth? Okay. Oh God, that's great. And oof, that's a lot. Okay, woof. First off, we get the Sun. One of my favourite cards in all tarot decks is this Sun card. It is so gorgeous. We have an awful lot of Yang energy. We have a lot of divine masculine energy. We have a lot of fire energy. When this person decides to give you the truth, there will be no mistaking it. And I'm going to be really interested to know what the inner conflict is as well in a minute, because we have two really different cards. We have the Sun card, which is, I will tell you, here is transparency, here is everything I know. You know, the Sun card is out there, it's Yang. The Moon card is more hidden, more feminine. The Sun card is more masculine, it's more, here it is, everything, transparent, I'm telling you everything. And then we have the Eight of Cups. This is really important, okay? You will need, you're dealing here with someone who's quite formidable. There's quite high stakes and it's quite go big or go home. You will need the ability to walk away to make this work. It doesn't mean you have to do it, and it certainly doesn't mean you threaten it if you don't mean it. It's not about making false ultimatums. It's about being able to go toe to toe with this energy. This person has a lot. They're just born like that. Some people are. You know, you may even find yourself wanting to have the energy that they have because they just seem to get away with things, be confident. They're just one of those people. And it may be a lot of the reason why you're attracted to them. But, and this can be something that's under the surface for you, and it's to do with self-worth and self-confidence, and that Queen of Pentacles very quietly knowing that you are the prize and knowing that you could walk away if this is not enough for you, if the reveal is not big enough, obvious enough, or powerful enough. Because this Eight of Cups, which is Saturn in Pisces, makes your energy stronger. And push comes to shove, if the offer is not good enough for you, you have to be able to walk. Okay, you have to. And then we get the Knight of Swords, which I also really like here, because the Knight of Swords is boundaries, and it's also being direct, and it's also, it's kind of giving a sense of power, decision making. And it's weird because in some ways, the power balance, it kind of, the next move needs to come from this person. But at the same time, you need to be in the driver's seat, which is a strange division of energy. It's not for you to be getting off the throne as the Queen of Pentacles and running after what you want or chasing any energy. And I would go so far as to say that that would kill off what is quite a sparky level of attraction. The person that you're dealing with at the moment has more energy than you do. They have more confidence than you do. But you have all the power to change that here with the Queen of Pentacles and that Eight of Cups. And I would say also that there needs to be some reckoning, you know, and this might have to happen when you're on your own or times of solitude where you're saying to yourself, what is my bottom line? As the Queen of Pentacles, I'm in touch with my heart, I'm in touch with my soul, I'm in touch with my destiny. I know what I feel, I know what I want, but what is not enough? What does that look like? What does not enough look like? That is a really important question. Let's look at inner conflict next. I can never stick to a running order to save my life. There will be an extended love reading for this, and the extended love reading will be you and me side by side, where we get even more granular. I take a deck for you and a deck for your person. Let's have a look at inner conflict. Oof. Oof. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Two of Cups. We got some big hitters here. We got the Ten of Cups over there. I love this Two of Cups, but it is a darker Two of Cups. It's not your usual, you know, you put the phone down first, Venus in Cancer, the sort of angel overhead blessing it and all that stuff. This is more of a kind of emo Two of Cups. It also, and I always notice this, it's got kind of jellyfish and it's got snakes in the hair. There is something, there's something very sexy about this connection between you and this person, and it's just a little bit on the shadow side. It's just a little bit on the shadow side. Now, King of Swords. Oh, the King of Swords. Inner conflicts. The King of Swords has a lot of inner conflicts. If you're dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this will particularly resonate with you, or a fire sign. Okay, so air and fire signs here. If you're dealing with an air sign or a fire sign. This King of Swords has such a lot of difficulty in expressing what the Two of Cups is all about. They like to keep it in shadow for as long as they can until the stakes are high enough that they're almost forced out of their cave. Now that can lead to mixed messages and some frustration around their energy, okay? Because I would imagine with the Ten of Cups on the current energy and the Two of Cups on the inner conflict, that you can sense the feeling behind the way that they act. You know that there's something good here. You know that there is this connection, but it feels ethereal, and you want to bring it into reality as the Queen of Pentacles because it can't live in the ether forever, and you don't want to get lost in a cloud of limerence because that is no way to live. So we have this energy of tension. The King of Swords is always, for some reason, striving to contain feelings, striving to lock them away, to protect themselves, to have control, actually, over the narrative, to not put themselves at risk. And in a love relationship, you can't not put yourself at risk. You need to be vulnerable. They hate to be vulnerable. I do like that we've got the Page of Wands with this. So we've got the King of Swords, the Two of Cups, and the Page of Wands as inner conflict. So the Page of Wands is that bit of fire. It's the physical attraction. I don't think there is an issue in any of this with chemistry or physical attraction. There's a lot of intellectual attraction as well, and that's really, really, really important. But there is conflict. This person is dealing with, and you might also be dealing with, and it may show up very differently for you, with vulnerability and how to show up and how to be true to your feelings while at the same time protecting yourself, as we all should. We should all have good boundaries. We should all have relationships with a good balance of reciprocity. But of course, relationships don't always have a habit of behaving in that way, particularly if you're in a kind of in-between stage of a relationship, of which there are many. So I feel like there's a sort of silent struggle that goes on here, that's catching the edge of jokes, that's standing in the way of progress, and that's... it's kind of doing a dance of concealment. Let's look at the root cause. Very interested to know. Oh yeah, of course it is. Yes, I get it. Right, the root cause. There it is. The Nine of Wands. This card always comes up. And the Rider-Waite version of this is like a guy who's building a barrier with 9 wands. And this is a feeling of wanting to self-protect. Both of you, actually, both of you may struggle with boundaries, but also want to fence yourself in at the same time. You know, and as human beings, we are a bundle of conflict. It's just the way that we are. We very rarely feel one thing at one time. We are often conflicted with 2 things or more than 2 things that go against each other. There's a heavy desire here to break out with that Sun card. That's the hidden truth. To be plain, to be able to walk away or walk towards. Not to be hanging around in the middle, okay? You may walk away, you may walk towards, but you need to be advancing. But we also have this very retreating energy, and these 2 things keep things stuck. They keep things the same. What's also going on at the root cause is the Seven of Wands, which is a struggle for power. This is Mars in Leo. And it's quite well spelled out in this card, even though it looks a little bit violent. You're not trying to shove each other off a cliff, and don't be doing that. But this is a struggle for power, and it's a silent struggle for who can protect themselves more. Who's going to blink first, okay? Your part in this is not to go blinking. Your part in this is to come back to that Queen of Pentacles, come back to your hidden value system, to ask yourself, what does no look like? What does yes look like? What is enough for you? What are you worth? And to build up your reserves of self-worth, because they may be a little depleted, especially if there's been some back and forth here. And then we have the World, which I really like. So we are moving through a cycle of uncertainty, and we're moving towards certainty. And it's difficult. It's like, you know, landing and takeoff in an aeroplane put the most strain on all the parts of the plane, okay? God knows where that came from. I know nothing about aircraft. But landing and taking off in this relationship are moments of strain. And when there are moments of strain, don't push harder. Retreat. Conserve your energy. Consider your position. Boost your position. Know who you are. Know what you need. Know what you want. Know what you'll tolerate. And know when to say no to yourself as well. Let's look at the turning point. Oh my God, that is great. Okay, for the turning point, we get the Hermit. And this is the work you need to do on yourself. And this will be something which you've already started, I think. I can kind of feel that. Also, if you're dealing with somebody who is, and I don't know why I get this word in my head, but quite still, let them be in their cave for the time they need to be in their cave, and make sure that you are in yours. Don't be out of your cave wandering about looking for their cave. Make your cave a good place to be. Queen of Pentacles, she doesn't move off her throne. Your cave is the place where you do your shadow work. It's where you do your inner work. It's where you find your hidden truth. It's where you find the sun. It feels like you both have your defences up in different ways. And while there needs to be boundaries, obviously there needs to be boundaries, those boundaries come from self-worth rather than external sources. I think I should do this. I will not accept that. We are all different in terms of what we will accept, what we won't accept. And the most important thing in all situations, and particularly in this one, is that it's true to you. It's not what someone else thinks you should accept. It's not what you're like in a state of fear. It's what you're like when you're in your cave. And I would work with full moon energy around this. Then we get the Star. How bloody gorgeous is that? I love this. This is when you stop focusing on the everyday of what's happening. You stop focusing on things like individual messages or what they said or what you said. And you focus on this bigger picture, your North Star. And this means not even completely focusing on this person. You're focusing on what you want. You're focusing on what makes you shine. And what would make you shine in relationship. What someone can bring. What your heart desires. And no less than that. But don't attach detail to it. Keep it universal. That's a turning point, because that is also how you manifest the bigger picture. This is a relationship where the bigger picture matters more than the current picture. If you get hung up on the current picture, you will miss the bigger picture. And then the Queen of Swords, and I like that she's here. She works very well with the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Velvet Waiting. Queen of Swords, the Queen of Execution. And this is where you're willing to kind of put your money where your mouth is. And that's where that Eight of Cups in the Hidden Truth also really comes into it. Because when you know you have the ability to walk away if that's what's needed, okay, if it's not feeling like enough for you, or you're not getting what you want, that is a turning point. That is the ability to be the Queen of Swords, to protect yourself, to be able to speak the words you need to speak without having, you know, you're not stuttering here, and you won't second guess yourself, and that will come through. And sometimes it comes through without you even having to say anything, which I like the most. Never apologise, never... oh my God, what an amazing outcome. Okay, woohoo! Woof. The outcome, people. Cripes. Oh my God, the Lovers. Woof-a-doodle-doo. The Lovers. God, okay. This does ask a bigger question. The Lovers is also the choice. You have levels of choices with this person. This is your bigger picture card. There will be a bigger choice to make than the one you're making now down the line. Okay? And it comes up, I love this. With the Queen of Wands, which is where you have your King of Wands here, you've got your Queen of Wands here. You come into your power. This is diva energy. And that sparks something. Now, coming into your power doesn't necessarily mean you're going to kick butt. You know, sometimes coming into your power is discovering your ability to be strong and vulnerable at the same time. But just know that there is a bigger decision to make about this relationship down the line, okay? And we also get the High Priestess. Whew. Good grief. There are stages with this relationship. You are in a stage of uncertainty, or you have been. You're moving into a stage of more certainty, what I would call like mid-certainty. You are paying attention to your own energy rather than paying attention to the energy of the other person or to the connection. You're paying attention to the root energy, which is you. There is a lot of connection between the hidden truth and the root cause and the turning point, because the ability to walk away is the bedrock. The need to hear certain words spoken to you is completely right. You can't put those words into someone's mouth, and they do have the ability to speak when they need to, and they will. The turning point is when you really go into your cave and stop wandering over to their cave and knocking on the door and asking whether they're coming out. Stay in your lane. Stay in your cave. Keep your eye on the bigger picture, manifesting, but more importantly, concentrating on what you deserve, what you want, and what would light you up. Okay? The outcome, in a way, opens more doors than it closes with the Lovers and the High Priestess. There are certain things here that you kind of have a whiff of, but they're not around yet, and they will be there further down the line. Okay? Whew, that's a lot. But I love that you become the Queen of Wands. In the extended love reading, I will take a deck for you. I will take a deck for them. I think what I'm going to do as well, because I have 3 of these decks, because I do a lot of mirror reading. So I think I'm going to do like a mirror reading for you and this person using this deck, but also others and shadow cards. And I will do I'm going to just go deeper under the surface. And I'm going to dig into also some of the cards from here, like the Lovers card, the 2 of Cups, the 10 of Cups. Yes. Okay. The link will be below if you want to join me for the extended reading. This was a big one, as the actress said to the bishop. Leave me a comment and do hype the video if it's really hit the spot with you. YouTube loves it when you hype a video, shows it to more people. Hurrah. Okay, I'll see you on the other side. Namaste.